The first advantage for the Rams is a really big one, even though it might not seem that way, as the Rams have a Tier 3 quarterback in Matthew Stafford versus a Tier 4 quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The reason this is so big is because Stafford could possibly be even higher if not for his receivers and offensive line being decimated by injuries for much of the year. So he's ahead of Rodgers in his worst case scenario. Whereas Rodgers, yes, he's gotten Devontae Adams partway through the year, but aside from that, everything has been relatively the same. Olu Fashanu is playing about as well as Tyron Smith did, so that's not much of a difference. But as for another advantage, this one's rather large as well. The Rams have a absolute star in Puka Nacua. There's just no denying it at this point. He is one of the, at a minimum, 10 best receivers in the league, and he has the potential to be even more than that. And he's going against a very good corner in his own right in Sauce Gardner. He's having a bit of a down year this year, though. He's not up to his usual standards. So Sauce is just above average in man and zone coverage this year. He isn't shining in really either department, so he can be taken advantage of, especially by an elite receiver like Puka. The next advantage for the Rams is that they have solid run blocking versus a bad Jets run defense. I always say there's a rather big advantage to be found in being average or above average and going against below average. It may not seem like a huge difference to be just average and be going against below average, but there really is a big advantage in that. So that's a nice one for the Rams. They have it through the air with Puka, they have it through the ground with their offensive line, and Puka as well. He's a great run blocker. Sauce, not the greatest tackler either at corner. Now, for the defensive side, they just have one advantage here, and they have a quality run defending and pass rushing Jared Verse versus a poor run blocking and pass protecting Olu Fashanu. As I mentioned before, he's playing about as well as Tyron Smith, and it's not because Smith was playing great. It's because Olu's also not playing very well. And he's going against maybe the defensive rookie of the year in Jared Verse, perhaps. Verse is playing out of his mind so far this year. So this could be a really big mismatch for the Jets. As we move to the Jets, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you like and subscribe because I'm going to be pushing out more football content. And with that out of the way, the Jets have the advantage of having a solid Devontae Adams against a lacking in both man and zone coverage Quentin Lake, which is weird because Lake last year was good in zone at least, but he's not so hot this year. And it seems like Adams is going to be the slot for much of the game because Garrett Wilson is a savage and he doesn't play in the stinking slot basically at all. And Allen Lazard is more heavily an outside receiver than he is a slot receiver. So it'll be an interchanging of Lazard and Adams, but Adams will be in there a fair amount. Speaking of Garrett Wilson, though, he is very good, and he's going against a bad Kobe Durant or Darius Williams. So he's going to have the advantage against either cornerback. Sometimes it'll be Ahkello Witherspoon as well. I like Garrett Wilson in that matchup also. So no matter what, Wilson is going to be having the advantage. The next advantage is that they have awful pass blocking versus bad pass rushing. I should have mentioned this is for the defensive side of the ball now for the Jets. So, yes, the Jets don't have a great pass rush, but they don't need to against such a poor pass blocking line in the Rams. They can run block, they can't pass protect though. And for the final advantage, there is a specific matchup that's really going to be advantageous for the Jets, and that they have terrible pass blocking Steve Avila and Bo Limmer versus an average, or above average, I should say, not average. He is not average one bit. An above average Quentin Williams. So you have an above average defensive tackle against really poor pass protecting linemen. That could be really troubling. With all of this said, it is very difficult to navigate who's going to win. Actually, before we get there, I should mention the Jets do have home field advantage also. So that is something. Not really much to sway me, but a little bit of something. Back to my spiel now. The Jets have 5 advantages, the Rams have 4. It is so super close, and really you could go either direction, and there would be a strong argument for you. But I'm going with the Rams, even though they have one less matchup advantage. I like that they have the advantage at quarterback, and like I said, it could be even larger than it possibly is at this moment, just because Stafford has been held back by injuries. So I like the Rams a little bit more. I could understand if you go with the Jets, but I'm riding with the Rams here. Those are my thoughts on the game. Be sure to let me know what yours are in the comment section, and also be sure to like and subscribe for more football content.